I think the biggest challenge facing our community is getting people to understand how important it is to act now to ensure that everyone is educated, that everyone has a job. We really are an isolated community. We know and love and understand our neighborhood, but don't really migrate beyond it.
We see it every day in the schools. Our teachers deal with it on a regular basis. But in middle class, everyday life, folks don't necessarily interact with folks of poverty.
People in poverty are living in a war zone. Imagine yourself in a stressful or crisis situation, and someone expected you to be on time to work, or someone expected you to remember your backpack to school. If you're in crisis, that's almost impossible.
Poverty has so many different meanings. Poverty could be poverty in education, in work, in family, emotionally. I think poverty it's a big word because it has so many different meanings.
Absolutely.
And my poverty, I think, has been my whole life, and I'm finally getting out of it.
We all know that education is the answer, whether it's a technical skill, whether it's taking a photography class, taking, a CNA class to be a nurse's assistant, whatever the skill, whatever the education is, I believe it gives you confidence.
We haven't always known as a community what to do about the numbers once we're aware of them, and 2020 has given us as a community a way forward.
Empecé a asistir a las conferencias y me presentaron a Donna Beegle, Irene Arnold, a preocuparse por mí, me llamaba, ¿cómo estás? ¿Qué necesitas?
This is just an opportunity you have to be around people who care, who want to be a part of your life, who don't have any agenda for you, but just want to be available to help you reach your goals.
Being a navigator means that you become friends with someone, and it really doesn't take that much time to call someone twice a week to find out what their needs are. It's very easy. The community really has rallied around us in a support system for us to be able to help someone else.
It's exploding. People know that we're here. We get calls from everywhere. We have people leave notes on the door saying, can you help me? I hear you can help. We're not trying to duplicate anything that's already out there. We're just trying to use those resources that are in place.
We've made it our job to become informed about all the things that are going on in the community. We don't know everything, but that's part of what we try to do, is be an information-rich organization. We use data, we use local resources, we use state-level resources and state-level organizations.
I know when I first met Jeannie that night, she was kind of just a bundle of tears.
Yeah.
We were scared because we were thinking, what if we can't do this? But we all went in, and when Casey and Richard and I met Jeannie, she calmed us down, I think. And she has such a naturally sweet spirit about her that it made it easy for us to want to work with her.
It was for me embarrassing, really embarrassing. I guess I was so used to living, from one day to another, paycheck to paycheck, struggling. I was so used to it that for her to help me was like, oh my, you just want to shrivel and hide.
Mi niña de 4 años, ¿cómo se ha dado cuenta ella, aún siendo tan pequeña? Ahora alguien va a la casa, una amiga va a un navigator y ella con su inocencia, mira, ven, te voy a enseñar todo lo que tenemos. Dice, antes no teníamos nada en mi casa, solo teníamos un colchón en nuestra sala.
We talked through some of the things that she's had in her past, the hardships that she's had, from an early age. And she's healing from the inside out, and she doesn't have to feel insecure. She knows she has value. I hope you know that now.
the navigator neighbor thing involves relationships. It gets muddy and not always clean and neat. People aren't programmable, but they get a chance to see life change and feel like God uses them to make a difference for the kingdom. So that's the difference this thing offers churches, I think, in their involvement.
Because you're actually helping people in your community that you're going to see over and over again, and you're going to get to see grow and advance, and that you can actually have a part of it. How amazing is that?
Panhandle 2020 started with the question, who's planning for our future? And we realized that no one was, so we had to. It's easy to get wrapped up in strategic planning for the next year, but that doesn't get you a plan for the next 20 years.
Texas is last in the number of adults with a high school diploma, last out of all 50 states in the Washington, D.C. area. So we're 51st. In the year 2000, 1 in 10 individuals lived below poverty level. The most recent numbers show 1 in 3. In Amarillo ISD, 65% of our kids are on free and reduced lunch. That's the most recent number. 10 years ago, it was only 50%.
We have actually connected those numbers to actual people and built relationships with people in ways that we could not as a community build relationship with a statistic.
What we're trying to do is called collective impact. And that's a term that's just kind of bubbled up recently out of a group in Stanford. But we've been doing that for years, where we try to bring lots of different organizations together to create that larger solution for these are big social problems we're trying to deal with.
We had institutions, we had businesses, we had over 100 volunteer to come in and work as mentors with people in our community living in poverty. It's hard to find the words to express what happened that day.
Oh, pues, a mí lo que me gustó mucho fue al momento que entramos, había mucho ambiente, mucha alegría, el lugar estaba muy bonito, yo tenía problemas de depresión y pues llegaba muy triste, yo estaba muy triste, pero dije, a ver qué sale de esto, algo bueno tiene que salir.
The only way we're going to ever impact this is one person at a time, person to person, neighbor to neighbor. And that's what we're asking the community to do.
Because a lot of what their focus has to be is to just survive. So their focus may be on finding shelter, food, transportation.
Oh, this family here has some legal issues that are very minor to us, like a traffic ticket, but an attorney that has the wisdom on how to deal with that they can just go in and help them, not solve the problem for them, but to show them this is what we can do. We can set up, talk to the judge, get payments, whatever, but that they can do that as a contribution to the community themselves.
One of the neighbors shared that instead of trying to get legal help, they just decided to go to court and talk to the judge and face whatever it was that they needed, even if that meant going to jail. And she came to court that day and brought her boyfriend and her little girl. And she looked at them and said, I'm willing to face whatever it is that I need to do in order to overcome. And the judge did sentence her to 3 weeks of jail time. And she looked right at her little girl and she said, don't be sad for mommy. I'm going to take care of this and it's going to be okay.
Siempre estaba con miedo. Miedo y vergüenza porque caminaba y yo recordaba todo lo que me estaba pasando y solamente lloraba y lloraba y me daba pena que la gente me viera llorar. En ocasiones agachaba mi mirada y miraba mis tenis rotos, mi ropa rota y me daba pena salir a la calle. Y si yo me sentía así, ahora pienso, pues mis hijos también se sentían de igual manera como me siento yo hoy, como me sentía, porque también a ellos les pasaba lo mismo.
I got lost, but I found me. I found me again.
And you're a wonderful me.
I feel the air smells even better. It's changed a lot. And that feeling that I feel, I would love for somebody else to feel it. I always tell, like I tell my mother, I'm going to do the same thing. Because there's a lot of people out there that do need that push and need that security and need that extra love.
It's just been so powerful to watch this movement grow, to watch it move through our community and watch people get on board at all levels of our community. Because together we can make a difference. And a problem that seems too big for any one person or one institution to tackle, we can make a difference if we work together.
Embrace the fear and take the first step to eradicate it. When you meet your neighbor for the first time, you're going to understand that you are both connected to the same thing. You want success for your kids. You want to love the community that you live in. And you know how to help them get there. And that you will be fed by your neighbor far more than they will be fed by you.
To all those people interested in being a navigator that think it may be too much, I don't know enough, I don't know the resources, ask yourself, do you know how to be a friend? If you can be a friend, you can be a navigator.
Anyone can make a difference. Everybody has different skills and different talents, different abilities, and my ability might not be as helpful to someone else as it is to Jeannie. But everybody has something they can offer. And I would just urge anyone, regardless of their background, their nationality, their language barriers, there's always something that somebody has that they can do to help.